Lately, Moen has been adding new and new mobs that greatly help you traverse vast Minecraft landscapes by land, by sea, and by air. And although I haven't used any of the rideable mobs in this Minecraft world ever since I got an elytra, I still like the addition of zombie horses, Nautilus, and happy Ghasts. Since I don't really have use for those mobs, I find myself every new update going around, searching for new mob, bringing it home, and leaving it on a lead in a random place, which is a shame, because I believe they deserve a nice house. So today I want to build the ultimate stables, where every single rideable mob has its own home. In case you are new here, hi, I'm the Mystic Crafter, and this is my long-term hardcore world. And I live on an island, which doesn't really have much space for a stable, and it doesn't really make sense to build stable on an island. So I think the best place to build will be here in the desert. I really wanted to build something on this side of the ocean. I will finally have very nice view from my island and also from the cyan sheep wool farm. There are two things that I currently have on that side of the desert. First is this ugly old mob grinder. I don't want to have it as a view, so naturally I brought a lot of TNT to deal with it. Oh yeah, also this sunflower field. I plant one sunflower for every subscriber I get on my YouTube channel. So if you want one dedicated to you, you know what to do. So now I'm ready to build. I have hidden a beacon here that allows me to double jump. In my opinion, it's the most useful effect when you're building, even more useful than haste. So I think right here where I'm standing, it's the perfect place for building number one. And since I'm currently in the desert, it seems fitting to build a house for Camel and its friend, Zombie Camel. Let's go! Just a few small disclaimers. For a while, my buildings will be floating. Don't worry, I do plan to do a bit of terraforming later, in the end of the video, so watch until the end before you deliver the final judgment. Secondly, I'm running a mob switch. This is so helpful, because I don't need to worry about creepers exploding my builds. And lastly, I've designed all these buildings in creative using Axiom, and I'm bringing it to my Minecraft world using Lightmatica. And despite all of these helpful tools, I've spent many hours of designing, gathering materials, building and adding details. So even if I made it seem in the video like it's a simple project, it required a tremendous effort. So I hope you will like it and appreciate it. The house I designed here is vaguely inspired by North African architecture. Honestly, I didn't follow any guides or any references. I just knew that I wanted to have few big buildings that have rectangular shape and flat roof and have it connected by smaller buildings and some balconies. I made it entirely out of sandstone with few more different blocks to add some texturing. Well, now it's bare walls, so we need to add some windows, and I think that copper is one of the best blocks to combine with sandstone. Especially copper that is a little bit weathered or completely oxidized is one of my favorite combinations. Also, as details, I want to add some banners and some shelves that look like excellent trims, especially in combination with some contrasting block, for example granite. For now I just have unoxidized copper, so I need to wait for it to oxidize. Hopefully by the end I finish other builds. I will need to come back and put some honey on it, but I think it looks great even with unoxidized copper. Although I like using banners and signs in my build, there is one unfortunate thing. If I go far enough, the banners unfortunately disappear, but luckily shelves are visible. And hello there? I've got some intruders. It's actually second wandering trader since I started building this build. I've got so many llamas during this build that I think next building will be for llamas. I mean, this is a sign, this is definitely a sign. I just didn't know that I can have two wandering traders at the same time. How is it even possible? This is invasion. Before showing you next clip, I want to remind you, I have played Minecraft Hardcore for years. The building for camels is ready, and we are gonna walk on terraforming and moving them in a bit later in the video. Now I want to build house for llamas. And there are 4 different colors of llamas. That's why I will build 4 different houses. And these buildings are quite different from my previous build, both in shape and color. For llamas I got inspired by yurts. First one was not so bright, but it is contrasting against this desert, with mud walls and red roof. Second yurt is made out of bright yellow bamboo, acacia accents and brown roof. Third one is using red sand with some bamboo accents. So you see, I don't use completely random colors. I try to borrow one color into the other build to kind of tie it together. I think it works quite well. When everything is finished, these houses are gonna be located on the farthest side of this region. That's why I think having contrasting colors and variation of colors will work very well in the end. Although from close up it may look like it's a bit too random, but don't worry, it will work. I do like it, I think I like it. Having drastic variation in height is also excellent, so each building has its own space in the whole composition. And yes, I agree, some of those accents are quite aggressive. When I started this project, one of the goals that I put in front of myself is to really experiment with shapes, colors and styles. I'm way out of my comfort zone, and in this case it's a very good thing. I hope you can agree with me, and I believe with some terraforming and few trees, this will actually work. Trust me. Trust the process. Well, this video says that I'm building stables for animals, but so far I built houses. It's because I believe, you know what, they also deserve houses. I don't have to limit myself to only stable-like structures. But I think it's time I will actually build actual stables. So next one will be for horses. And yes, I decided to go with a building that you would expect when we speak about stables. L-shaped with slanted roof, kind of wide open. Much simpler traditional design, but I couldn't resist adding tower. Yeah, I think it would be too boring without this tower. This place definitely needs an interior, it will come later. But even though, as I said, it's more traditional design, I try to implement a lot of small details and stuff. And of course you can access top floors. This place is quite spacious actually. You can live here if you want. And the view is amazing. I hope you can see where I'm going with all of these builds. I'm trying to make area that is circular or maybe a bit closer to horseshoe. It will make sense once I'm done. It will definitely make sense, but first we need to build houses for donkeys and mules. And let's start with donkeys. The most donkeys spawn actually in the meadows. And I thought to myself, why not make house for donkeys colorful and flower inspired? And here's what I got. It's pink. It's very pink. Majority of walls are made with pink stripped cherry wood. Windows are kind of flower shaped, I hope you can see that. And they're in a red and magenta colors. I use crimson and mangrove trapdoors. I also need to add some banners around those frog lights. And this house, despite being quite small and very simple in shape, feels cozy. Pink is not my favorite color, and I don't always choose pink to build with. But in this case, I enjoyed it. Yes, I definitely enjoyed it. And here is the shulker that I lost, naturally. And also another shulker that I lost. Need to pay more attention, I cannot waste resources like that. Anyway, time to sleep. And with a new day, we need to build new building. Oh, I really wish that rainbows were part of a vanilla game. They look so nice. Unfortunately, it's only shaders that I'm using, called Complementary Reimagined. So yeah, next house for Mules is ready. The main feature I was going for is mossy roof, and I thought that mossy roof will look really great in combination with mud bricks. I will need to create a terrain for this house, but that will be a little bit later in the video. Again, this house is rectangular, but it's diagonal. It's a bit of a challenge to build diagonally in Minecraft, and I think I made it work. Yeah, I think I made it work here. Obviously, I want the roof to be extra fluffy, so that's why I need to bone meal it just a little. I think I want to add more to both pink house for donkeys and mossy for mules. So I want to add this hangy moss to this roof and glowberries to the mossy roof. And to make sure that no creepers spawn in the night once I turn off my mob switch, I'll make sure that some of the glowberries are actually shining. And on top of the roof, I managed to hide some light blocks. When I build, I always make sure that my builds are completely spawn-proof without any exposed torches. One of the more interesting but underutilized animals that you can saddle and run around are actually these guys here, striders. Normally, they live in the nether. But I think I actually have a perfect place in the overworld, in a place that I've been using since forever, and have a bunch of farms. In this giant lush cave, I think this lava lake is perfect for some striders to hang out. Also, I wanted to have a portal in this cave since forever. Now I have actually built it, so I think that works great. I tried to secure this lava lake as much as possible. Striders cannot survive a touch of water, so hopefully they will not wander off from the warm lava lake. And I think I can get the advancement now. I think striders are a lot of fun, but again, ever since getting an elytra, I never traverse nether without wings. So I don't really utilize them. The advancement has name feels like home. I think it's very suitable. I'm really happy that the striders actually feel like home. I think this place looks excellent, even though I didn't put that much effort into building, because lush caves already look so cozy. I hope they will enjoy their time here. So we tackled ground and lava. Now it's time to approach air, and one somewhat relatively new mob that allows you to ride through air is obviously Happy Ghast. And I felt like it's very fitting to build these colorful hot air balloons for Happy Ghasts. It's made out of colorful glass. Unfortunately, with shaders it's a little bit too transparent, but you get the idea. I think that in a way it fits really well in the composition of these builds. And from the air we dive into water. I'm so lucky to have warm ocean here, because it will be quite beautiful view for Nautili. And of course for Nautilus, I decided to build this kind of oval structures on a few different levels. I use quartz for pillars because you can see it very well in the water. And I used mostly blue glass, but also a bit of purple and magenta. And for the inside of the enclosure, I want our Nautili feel almost like home. So I built some ocean ruins, both warm ones and cold. Now that the buildings are in place, we are approaching the most dreadful part, terraforming. Okay, I'm being a bit dramatic. I made myself mostly easy job here. As I don't have any mountains or hills, I wanted to keep this area more or less plain. But of course there are some nuances and differences between each buildings. Obviously for camels we'll keep it sandy. And for llama areas, it's also sandy, but with red sand, to be distinct, just to be sure. As for the rest of the area, first of all we need to connect everything with path, because obviously we want to make this area look coherent, like all of these things belong together and not just a bunch of randomly plopped buildings. Here I also get to use biomes very cleverly. In the desert biome, I mostly use moss for the ground, but around the river, since the biome is river, I can use grass blocks. Also in the river biome, I can use trees, like mangrove for example, otherwise I use azalea if I wanted to look green. I made few custom bushes. However, I am actually using vanilla trees. Hear me out. Making custom trees would look probably way better. But this time-lapse footage that you see, It took many hours, and at some point I do want to post this video, so I have to prioritize where I spend most of my time. This is my forever world. At least I hope. I mean, it's hardcore. Can end any moment. But as long as I'm here, I believe I will have many more projects around this area, and if I want to come back and remove vanilla trees and put custom ones, I always can do that. And also there is a small trick that I will share with you. As you can see, this build is built in the middle of a desert, so it's surrounded by nothing. If I want to have these buildings more incorporated, smart and quick fix is to plant a lot of vanilla trees. You know, to do it a little bit over the top, kind of behind. They will fill those empty spaces that you don't have any use for, at least not right now. And there is an illusion that a lot of stuff is happening on background, and these buildings that were built are there on purpose and actually carved into the environment and not plopped on top. Also, trees can be good fences, instead of, you know, having just fences all around. Doing terraforming is not only placing blocks. Sometimes you can do too much. Way too much. So there is a lot of placing blocks and I would say removing blocks as well. And now we're getting to a more interesting part, which is bringing the animals. And here I will use a bit of editing magic, because some of the footage that I will show you next was filmed way before I even started this project. And some of it is new, and some of it in between. And you'll never know which one is which. Doesn't matter. So, did you think that I forgot something? Anything? I did not forget pig. Pig is a rideable mob, and for the pig, I made this humble vanilla house. Technically it's butcher's house, which is a little bit questionable. I don't know, but I think it looks cute. I promise nothing will happen to these piggies. They are safe. Riding pig with a carrot on a stick. It always will be fun. Doing this project is another excuse for me to ride all of these different mobs, because I really like it and enjoy. Now, Nautiluses. I've been calling them Nautili in this video. Getting normal Nautiluses is quite easy. They're literally anywhere, everywhere, and I live on the island next to the ocean, so they're literally everywhere. But Zombie Nautilus is something very challenging. I did find one though, together with you on the stream. But what I haven't found is this guy over here. I spent hours and hours flying around. Luckily for me, I have so much warm ocean around. But even then, it took so long to find one guy just like that. Zombie Coral Nautilus. I have to be so careful, and I also need to survive. It's hardcore. But I want Nautilus to survive also. Did not get a trident, but I don't need a trident. I need Nautilus. I need to secure it so it doesn't despawn. I need to give it an armor and a name. And I'm actually thousands of blocks away from home, so getting back will be a bit challenging. I think it is connected by ocean. I do think it's possible, it's just so far. But don't worry, you'll be safe. You'll be safe. Hopefully it will be safe. Okay, so something else happened. I wasn't even recording because I didn't know I had to. So I thought I have only one zombie coral nautilus and I wanted to find second. I was flying around super far away, really far away. And after hours of hunting, I actually found one. I was also exploring ocean ruins and shipwrecks for nautilus armor, and look what I stumbled upon. I was on my way home. It's not the easiest way home because I was super far away, and then I heard thunder. And this guy spawned. I think it's such a lucky coincidence. As soon as I will get closer, something crazy will happen. Skeleton horses are so rare. Actually, it's not my first skeleton horse. It already happened to me twice in this world. First time when I was building giant potato, and second time randomly in the forest when I was doing some exploration. So I already have skeleton horses, but I cannot say no to more, and I really hope I can save them all. Oh no, please don't die. I have to be so careful. Please don't attack each other. Okay, everybody's safe. Everybody is saved here, so now I just need to get you home somehow. I am actually super far away. It's going to be a struggle. If it was just horses without Nautilus, I would make Nether portal. But since I need to deal with that guy, I don't know. Have to go by land. Or by sea, I mean by sea. And now a bit embarrassing story. I was dragging these horses and Nautilus all the way around, It took forever. Honestly, it took forever. And it took forever for one simple reason. I got lost, I made circles. If I open my seed map, this is the approximate route that I took. I don't know how that happened, but it took me a while to understand that I was actually going in circles. Well, that happens. That happens. But eventually I got home. Camels and zombie camels we found with you on the stream. No need to worry about those. Same about zombie horses. Horses, on the other hand, there are 5 different patterns of horses with 7 different colors, so 35 different unique horses. I'm not sure if I want to find every single horse, because simply there will be way too many entities in that area. So I will just make sure that I have every single color and at least one of each pattern. And of course, plus skeleton horses and zombie horses. I had this donkey since very long time ago. I will also need to breed mules. Now, I have many llamas, but they're all trader llamas. Fun fact about llamas. In case you didn't know, they can have chests attached to them. But different llamas have different chest size, and maximum they can have 15 slots. So every time I get wandering trader, I try to check their llama and how many chest slots does it have. Another fun fact, if you want to have 2x2 achievement, where you need to breed every single mob in the game that is possible to breed, breeding wandering trader llamas don't count, so bear it in mind. I can, in theory, give them all different blankets. They have 16 different patterns, plus wandering trader one. But again, that would be too many entities, so I'll just make sure that I have one of each color. And my favorite colors of carpet are green for this creeper pattern, purple for Enderman eyes, orange because Dalai Lama, sorry for the joke, and grey because it looks like bandit, it's so cute. Other patterns are very nice also, but I want to limit myself for the sake of frame rate. You have no idea how many hours I spent on this project, not only for building process, but for finding all of the mobs, bringing them home, all of the item collection. I built this island and this giant spirit tree. I'm gonna admit to you, this is the worst shulker monster I have ever had. This is horrible. And there are so many types of items. I was trying to add so many details. I actually hold myself back on some of the details. I wanted to add more, but I had to stop myself. I simply cannot deal with more things. It's giving me headache. But the result is absolutely worth it. At least in my humble opinion, I really love the area. I like the atmosphere. And I think I have few more ideas for future that will bring even more life to this place. From boring and bare desert to lush and vibrant field. Thank you so much for watching this video, being here with me. I read every single comment and I'm trying to reply as much as possible, so I will appreciate if you leave your thoughts down below. See you in my next video. Until the next time, bye!